You're live on YouTube.
You just wait for a couple of minutes. Guys, please post all your questions in the chat regarding CET. Hi, Harish. Hi, Pratham. Harish has asked how is our life going in JBIMS. So JBIMS has almost come to an end for us right now. Our exams are currently on and our semesters and our academic year is just about to get over. So yeah, that's all for now. The MBA is almost done.
I think it's been a great experience over time. So that's been really good. It's been quite fun.
Harish has asked how is our life going.
Sorry, it's been really nice that way. So even though it's coming to an end, I feel like there are good memories that we're taking out of this. It's been really nice. Yeah. 1 second.
Okay, Pratham has asked, can you please tell me how to improve data interpretation? Okay, so data interpretation, there are two major things that you have to focus on. First is your speed maths or your calculation. That is something that you need to be very good at. And all of your data interpretation revolves around your arithmetic skills, where your ratios will be tested, your percentages will be tested, your averages will be tested. So you need to be very good at this. So ensure that you practice these topics very well. And especially in DI sets where you need to have those shortcuts in place and you need to be able to do those calculations very quickly. So we've said this time and again before also that you need to know your decimals, your fractions, your percentages very well, right from 1/2 to at least 1/20 or 1/25, something that you should have at your fingertips so that your calculations become much easier. That is one, ensuring that your speed maths is on point. And secondly, you have to practice different varieties of sets, because in data interpretation, you will come across different kinds of question sets. You may have a bar graph, you may have a line graph, you may have a combination of two, you may have a pie chart. There are a lot of different ways in which data interpretation sets can be made. So you have to be accustomed to solving different types of sets, and only when you practice more sets will you get used to solving those different kinds of graphs or different kinds of ways in which the data can be interpreted. So ensure that you're practicing enough, but you have to have your speed maths and your calculations in place. That is very important.
Yeah, I think for DI, the most important thing is your calculations, and I think that is mainly practice. At the same time, I feel like you need to know better methods of calculating even smaller numbers. Like even if you're doing 2 into 2, I feel like tips and tricks help a lot. Especially at this stage when 2 months are left, I feel like that's a perfect time to be looking out for, better ways of solving, because you need to know how to do it right now, and it takes 2 months to learn it at least. People believe that shortcuts and these tricks can be learned within 5-10 minutes. You just watch a couple of videos and you get it. But I think that's extremely wrong. You need to spend time over it. And in our course as well, I feel like last year the people who actually benefited the most, they were the ones who bought them and 2 months were left. And around this announcement when it came out, that's the time they bought it. And I think they are the ones who got through as well. including the ones who bought it years ago, a year ago almost. But yeah, it's a big change. It's just the people who practiced a lot. That's the point. That made the biggest difference here. But yeah. And when it comes to quants, I guess it's more related to knowledge that you need. It's not only calculations, right? You need calculations, but you also need the knowledge base. So it's like a step above DI, which is why we always say that DI questions you need to get right. For quants also, you get a lot of these not exactly shortcuts, but if you can visualize questions better, I think that makes a bigger difference if you want to increase speed. And yeah, that's another thing that we would like you to suggest, that if you could learn, that's how you would go about it.
KRJ has asked, how do you guys focus? How did you guys focus during mocks, and in terms of fluctuating focus and concentration between the mocks? How did you ensure that you could focus? So yeah, at least in the initial stages, that is something when I faced, that to stay focused for an entire mock during the entire duration of 150 minutes, it takes a bit of time to get used to it. But I think it's just about practice, and it's just about having the mentally, you have to just be prepared that you have to focus on each and every question that comes your way during the exam. Treat every exam treat every mock like as if it is your last mock and it is a decider mock, and you have to give it your best and ensure that you are able to stay focused even in the last, say, 10, 15, 20 minutes, because that is the time, or that is the phase when you start zoning out and you start getting a bit mentally tired. But you have to keep giving yourself auto suggestions and keep insisting that, oh no, I have to stay focused. I have to focus on every question. I have to ensure that I'm getting every question that I solve right. And that is something that will come with a few mocks. It will take some practice, but if you've given a few mocks, then that shouldn't be much of a problem.
Yeah, and I feel like you need to break down your mocks into different parts. Like for me, it was always going fast in the start, and kind of like in the start, I used to, so my order used to be visual, verbal, easy, logical, then the tougher parts, which were quants and puzzles for me. So do the easy things fast, and this would give me momentum to go forward. Like rather than, like, Shreekanth on the other hand wanted to do puzzles first. That worked out for him because he got a ego boost confidence boost rather, not ego. He got a confidence boost where he was like, yeah, I've done better than everyone else, so I can go ahead with it. For me, it was more like, let's get through as many questions as possible. I'm safer in that spot. So that kind of decides how your focus and concentration goes ahead, because you're trying to constantly do better. So you're breaking down the paper into different parts. I think that's really important in that sense. And yeah, I think between mocks, it's more about having a desire to analyze things better. It's like you want to know, you want to find those small spaces that you can increase even 1-2 marks. Because even if you increase 1-2 marks by saving 10 seconds on 10 questions, you'll be able to get higher marks than what you would otherwise. And that is done using extensive mock analysis. And for that, I'll give you 2 sources. One source is the YouTube video that we have already on our channel. It's the most viewed video on our channel. So if you've not seen it already, just click on our channel, see the top viewed video. And secondly, we'll be keeping a group mentoring session soon with our students, where we'll be discussing in depth about how to go about this. That's the second source for this, and you can check that out on our website, thetoppercentile.co.in, if you're interested. I'll send the link in the chat just in case you're interested. But yeah, just see the YouTube video as well. I think it's a huge benefit to that. And when it comes to which test series are the best, our standard answers here is you have to buy 2, 3. You cannot buy one at all. There are a couple of questions about this. Which mock provider is closer to the difficulty level of CET? What is the best mock series? There is no best. There is nothing that is close to CET, because CET changes itself every year. In 2017, the highest, the cutoff for JBIMS was 128, I think, in 2016 or 2017. And that year, maybe IMS was the best mock provider, because their mocks used to have toppers at that range. But many years, like last year, the cutoff was the topper scored 159. We've scored 152 and 149. So, it keeps changing every year as to what happens and how marks come. But there is no best provider. Our suggestion is always to buy 2, 3. And the 2, 3 that we suggest usually are IMS, Time and Test Funda. These are usually the best providers that we have, that we believe they are the best providers here. So that's your answer for that. And yeah, Arvind, I think that answers your question as well. If you take any questions, I'll just put the link in the chat.
Yeah, so Harshal Patil has asked, is there any offer on PTP courses right now? So currently we are not having any offer, and we are having limited slots left as of now for one-on-one mentoring. wherein we provide one-on-one mentorship and we give you a detailed plan and detailed preparation strategy in place, keeping your strengths, your weaknesses in mind, what suits your preparation style. So we are currently offering one-on-one mentoring slots, which are limited at the moment, and that is provided with any of the packages that you take. So yeah, currently we do not have any offer at the moment.
Yeah, and along with that, right now we also have ebooks included in all our courses because we think it makes a lot more sense to have that along with our course. So while there is no offer as such on discount as of now, we are offering a lot extra than what a course was last year to make it a more holistic package. And yeah, we'll be putting a group mentoring schedule on the Top Percentile Telegram group soon. So if you've not joined it, click the link in the Telegram in the group in the description here and join that because all our updates come there first. Then they come into other places. So I definitely suggest joining that group for any kind of updates that you need.
Karthikeya has asked, I'm unable to comprehend quant questions at once. I have to read it twice or thrice to understand, though I can solve most of it. How to tackle this problem? Okay, so the comprehension part is something that is you're struggling, and that is happening because probably you are having lack of practice on a particular topic or a particular area where you're taking time to understand that question type, you're taking time to understand what they're basically asking of you. And when you're reading it twice or thrice, you're sitting and analyzing it, you're taking extra time to put in, then you're able to solve it. So firstly, what you need to ensure is that you cover up that topic, cover up the basics of the topic well, probably do a bit of solved examples as well, because when you sit and do the solved examples, you'll see how the solution is charted out and what is the exact way of going about it. And secondly, there may be certain topics where you're actually facing a problem with the comprehension part. So you focus on those topics first, try and ensure that you're practicing different kinds of questions from those topics. And once you solve enough number of questions, you will yourself start realizing that that comprehension part is not taking you that much time, or you're able to get done with understanding that question in one go, and then you're able to solve it faster. And you need to really work on your time for that, because if you have to read it twice or thrice to understand the question, you're losing easily around 30 to 35 questions just in understanding the question. You cannot afford to lose so much time on interpreting a quant question. So definitely it is lack of practice. That is one of the major reasons why this is happening. So ensure that you work on that.
Verbal, again, Ankit, that's your question. How to improve verbal?
Okay, Abhimanyu has asked how to improve verbal. My marks are not increasing above 25. Do I need to learn word each day? Okay. So one counter question that I would have for you, Abhimanyu, is how much time are you spending to get a score of 25? Say you're spending around 15 to 20 minutes on average to get 25. That I would say that is not bad. But say you're giving 25 minutes or 30 minutes and getting 25, then yes, there is a scope for improvement and you need to work on that. So firstly, no, you don't need to learn a new word each day. I think there is no limit or there is no scope for how many words you can learn. Like there could be 10,000 words that you could learn. So I don't recommend learning new words each day. One thing that you can definitely do is when you're practicing, when you're giving sections, when you're giving mocks, just make a repository or just make a note of the new words that you come across with their meaning, or maybe antonyms or synonyms or new grammar rules. All of these things are something that you cannot sit and study for separately because the portion is too vast or it's infinite. So we don't recommend that you separately study for this, but just start making a repository or a note of whatever new rules or new words that you come across, so that at least you have it in place and you can revise from that. And secondly, I think one of the major chunks of verbal is RCs. So if you are not, if you are taking too much time in RCs, or if you don't have a reading habit in place, you're probably taking time to get the RC questions right, or maybe your accuracy is taking a hit in RCs or parajumbles, etc. So you need to sort that first. That can again be done by practicing enough number of RCs, practicing different kinds of RCs across different genres, and also ensuring that you have a reading habit in place so that you are maintaining that reading and grasping comprehension skills that you require for your verbal section. So ensure that you work on these.
Yeah, and for grammar, I think, is there any book, Ankit, that you'd suggest? I think Harshad mentioned there's a RC 99 book or something like that, right? Mentioned for grammar.
Aristotle, yeah, that is for RC, specifically for RC, so won't be for grammar. I mean, if you want to go back to your schooling, you can refer to Wren and Martin or something of that sort, but I don't suggest, and especially with just 2 months remaining, it's not something that is suggested. it will take you a lot of time to go through the different kinds of grammar rules. There are so many different things to cover. So ideally, it is not recommended. If you feel like you need it or you want to go ahead with it, you can definitely do it. But otherwise, just solve enough number of questions. Just get used to what the different kinds of rules or something that you're coming across and make a note of that. That would be a slightly efficient way of doing it.
Yeah, and guys, just a reminder, in case you haven't already, please like and share the video, like subscribe to the channel, because we have a lot of things coming up. We have a lot of things planned over the next few weeks. It's going to get crazier, and just a lot of information over the next 2 months. Hence the 2 months to CET. Like there are so many interviews with toppers and videos already planned out. You really, if you're preparing for CET nicely, this is the best place to be for sure. So just go for that. Yeah. And just the questions about all India candidates getting to JBIMS. Again, a couple of answers that I have for this. First thing, I would suggest watch topper interviews on our channel. You'll find a lot of all India toppers who've come out and spoken about how they've prepared. The reason it's tougher is because you need a 99.99 in CET to get through. If otherwise you'd get a 99.95, 99.94 to get through. But if you're all India, you need 99.99, which is what makes it tougher. But both of us have scored 99.99, and we believe it's pretty, it's doable. Like it's 100% doable. If you put in the effort that is needed, and if you put in the hours required, you definitely can achieve this, and there's no reason why you can't. Like if you're willing, even in the last 2 months, you should be able to crack it. But again, if you want to hear it right from the horse's mouth, you should check out the All India interview, the toppers that we have on our channel. They are in JBIMS currently. They are our friends at JB, and they've cracked it either through CET or CMAT. So if you just check we have a playlist on topper interviews. You'll find all the stuff there. Please definitely check that out. But it's just hard work. Like it's the same hard work. Our aim wasn't anything different. We wanted 99.99. We got that, and that's what even the All India candidates would be going for. So definitely not. Ankit, anything to add here?
No, I think you summed it up quite well. It's all about the hard work in place. Okay, Abhishek has asked a question. I am scoring close to 50 in logical reasoning. I'm getting a lot of questions wrong in critical reasoning. Any help on this? So yeah, traditionally critical reasoning is one of those areas where even people who are extremely good at verbal or critical reasoning, etc., they tend to suffer from a low accuracy, because that is how the section is designed, where either the question is designed to confuse you, or options are made a bit ambiguous, where you'll be confused between 2 or 3 options. So accuracy does take a hit for even the best of people. My suggestion for critical reasoning is that, of course, one, try to practice enough types of different critical reasoning questions, where you have your statements, your assumptions, your assertion reason, all of the different conclusions, inferences, all the different critical reasoning question types. But secondly, more importantly, what you need to try and understand is, because of the structure and the way the critical reasoning section of the critical reasoning questions are designed, you need to ensure that you are not spending too much time on a single critical reasoning question. Because if the question is ambiguous or the options are ambiguous, you need to understand that spending those extra 20 or 30 seconds beyond, say, a minute is not going to help you fetch the right answer. You're still going to be confused more often than not. And that is something that all of us realized during our prep, that it doesn't make sense to spend those extra few seconds over a critical reasoning question beyond, say, 45 seconds or 1 minute. Because if you're confused or if you're stuck on that question, that's not going to get sorted. You're still going to be confused. So the ideal way to do it is just mark something, whichever option you're confused between, just mark one of the options and move on. Don't spend extra time trying to resolve that confusion, because it doesn't work out more often than not. You'll still remain confused.
Yeah, my accuracy is pretty low. I just didn't spend time on it, and I used to get marks everywhere else. So yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
How to tackle lethargy that kicks in while giving certain mocks. I'm not sure which mocks make you feel sleepy. If you want to talk about that, we can discuss that. But I guess change sections to something that interests you. Try writing things down. I mean, I've never felt sleepy in my mocks. I feel like usually it's been quite a challenge, and I feel like you should always have that challenge that you want to do better than what you've done. And if a mock is making you feel sleepy, you're not putting in enough effort to do it fast enough. So because when there are 200 questions to solve in 150 minutes, there's hardly any time to breathe. You're just constantly solving. Sleep is a very far away thing. Lethargy and sleep are 2 different things, I agree, but I'm just saying that lethargy is, I suppose lethargy is more related to laziness when you're not willing to solve things. But again, if you're willing to go for JBIMS and you want the top rank, That hunger has to be there to crack it. Ankit?
Yeah, I completely agree that you need to have that intrinsic motivation in place, because every mock you're giving, every question you're solving, it is towards a larger target in place or a larger goal in place, which is JBIMS, your dream college. So that is what you should always have in mind. And when you're intrinsically motivated and you're all ready to fight it out for that college, then that lethargy or that sleepiness will not set in, because you're actually battling it out question by question, mock by mock to reach that place. So it is very important that you are able to stay motivated, and I don't think that lethargy should come into place, because you need to have that motivation.
Yeah, like I think when you take a mock, you should consider that's the final exam that you're taking for JBIMS. So how would you behave if that was the exam? Would you not try to go the extra mile and solve an extra question, even if it takes more energy? You'd still go for that, right? So I think that would solve, like, that would help understand, put into perspective rather, what this is like. How many questions should I practice on each topic? I suppose, I mean, depends on which topic it is. In quant, my suggestion, so my answer to this, like when we have mentoring sessions with our students, I always tell them that if you're doing it, then you have to watch the top percentile videos, look at the ebooks that we have, look at the explanation over there in case you've not understood it properly, and then solve 200 questions on that same day. So I'd say the same thing. You solve 200 questions of each thing. But of course, I say 200 because I want them to understand what methods we've used in our course and to implement that on that day itself, which is why I tell our students exactly that. But I suppose you can also follow that to practice questions.
Another question from Mohammed Yusuf himself. If I do arithmetic and algebra, will I be able to ace the quant section? Arithmetic forms a larger chunk of your quant section. So of course, your priority and your main focus should be on getting the arithmetic topics solved well. But it doesn't mean that you leave out other topics or other sections just do arithmetic and algebra. You need to do geometry also. You need to do probability, PNC also, because there will be, even though that is a low frequency or those are low frequency topics, still you will get 1 or 2 questions from each of these places. And why do you want to let go of low hanging fruits, or if there are easy questions that are asked from any of these chapters, why to let go of that simply by not studying for it at all? So don't just think of it from that perspective that if you cover arithmetic, you cover algebra, quadratic, all of that, you will be sorted for quant. You need to cover the other topics as well. But of course, follow a priority order in place while you're studying. Do the high frequency chapters first, which is mainly your arithmetic. Then you move on to quadratic or a bit of the other algebra topics, and then you can move on to your modern maths, where you have your PNC and your logs and your permutation combinations and geometry and all that. But yeah, you have to ensure that you're covering every topic in quant. If you want JBIMS, if you want to get those high marks, you have to ensure that you're studying or covering all topics in quant. You can't afford to miss a single topic.
Yeah, and especially last year when slots were so different, like every slot had a different thing. Some slots had 80 questions of 90 questions of quants, and some had 4 RCs, and this kept changing for each and every slot. I feel like you cannot leave anything. You have to do everything and then just give it your best on the last day. Like, I'm not saying this year is going to be like that. I'm just saying that you have to be prepared for the worst. And in case you're left quants thinking it's only 50 questions, and then you got a paper with 90 questions quant, that's 45% of your paper gone right there. So you can't leave anything like that just for hopes that ये नहीं कर सकते हैं. सब कुछ करना है इसमें, without a doubt. Shubham, I did not mark flukes. I personally didn't think it's a good idea, because I thought getting marks through flukes was like increasing your marks without actually knowing how to solve the answers. So I never marked it till the second last day, I think, so till the last 2-3 marks. I never marked it. Yeah, Ankit and Shreekanth had a different idea on this. So Ankit.
Oh yeah, my view was completely opposite. I used to mark flukes right from the first mock till the last mock. So my opinion is different, because I felt that since you don't know whether other people are marking flukes or not marking flukes, and sometimes you get that motivation in place when you're getting a high score, and helps you drive your preparation further. And it completely depends on you, whatever you're comfortable with. You can mark flukes, you cannot mark flukes. Ultimately, both Anay and I got into JBIMS, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, it totally depends as to what you are comfortable with. Certain people don't want to mark flukes because they want to see their genuine attempts and what is the ratio of how many they're getting right from their genuine attempts. So from that perspective, they don't mark flukes and they feel that, just marking flukes adds to their score overall. So that is another perspective to look at. But I just felt that I wanted to give every mock like as if it was my last mock or was main CET exam. And so I wanted to train my mind in that fashion itself, where I knew exactly when I wanted to start attempting flukes within the 150-minute exam, as to when there are 5 minutes remaining, I would start marking flukes. So I wanted that pattern to be set in right from the first mock to the last mock. So I did it that way, but it's completely up to you as to whatever you're comfortable with.
Vipul, you already answered the question about which mocks are the best, so you can go back to that part and answer this and hear the answer. Shreyas have completed most of the syllabus, scoring 130 plus. How to go to 140? I think 130 to 140 is a very niche thing, but it's like, you need to kind of figure out exactly, like you need to spend a lot of time on your analysis of mocks to figure out where you can increase that. Mainly this happens. So when I was in 130 to go to 140, I think the main thing that I did over here was to see better methods of solving. It wasn't about when you're at 130, you've already got the syllabus in hand, right? You cannot do an extra chapter and think, okay, now I've got 10 marks extra. It's only about doing something faster. So when it comes to this, you need to open your mocks, think about where others are taking lesser time than you are. Like a lot of mock providers give you an understanding of where how much time you are taking to solve it versus how much time others take to solve it. So for example, if I was taking, let's say, 40 seconds to solve something in traditional, I knew that others are taking a minute to solve it. So I was taking those 20 seconds extra. But in case I didn't know this, and in case I was taking more, I would try to find a better way to solve that and make sure that I'm coming there at par. Because if I save 20 seconds in 10 questions, you're getting 200 seconds extra. That's 3 questions extra. 3 questions is good enough to increase at least something just by that much. So the aim over here is now to find better solutions, and I think it will be very applicable to you. So better ways of solving in your case, I think I do know that I think you are a student of the top percentile course. So if you've not, go through that again, practice that as much as possible. But apart from that, when it comes to taking mocks, I suppose when you see an answer right, see what else you can do better if there's a better solution given, or try to use paperless. That I think will help a lot. But yeah. Ankit?
I agree with what you said. Just one small thing. Your mock analysis needs to now dwell into the finer aspects, and you need to be very precise with your mock analysis, where you need to focus on which are the smaller question types or the smaller areas where you are taking too long to answer, where your accuracy is taking a hit, or are there certain topics which you're getting right, but you're spending extra time. So say there is speed, time, and distance, where each question you're taking around 1.5 to 2 minutes to solve. And whereas there is some other topic where you can actually take off time from speed, time, and distance, not solve that, and you can solve some other topic which will take lesser time. So try and fine-tune your preparation, your strategy from that aspect, and try and figure out what are the small areas, or what are the areas in which you can improve or make some trade-offs. That is what I used to do during my preparation when I was at this stage, where I was stuck in around 120s and around 130s. I had to fine-tune my strategy a bit and figure out certain sections or certain areas in LR and Quant, or even in the verbal section, where I felt that I could, instead of tackling this question, I could either go and solve some other question where I would have a larger probability of getting a right answer in a shorter time. So just focus on these small areas, and your score will definitely improve.
Yeah, and Shreyas, just one more thing. Since you're a student, just please WhatsApp us your Excel sheet. We'll go through that. That'll be much easier. If you've kept track of the Excel sheet that we've sent to you guys, you can just send it to us. That's like, just send it across, and that'll be a lot easier than asking this question like this, because it'll be a lot more finer points that we can help in that. So just do that and reach out on WhatsApp whenever. Okay. Ratul, suggestion is self-studying students. I suppose it's just mainly for a person who's studying on their own. It's just about like the motivation that you need for constantly putting in the effort, because when you're studying on your own, you don't know what to refer to and how to actually go about it. But I suppose if you're on a YouTube channel, you have, because like it's there are many other YouTube channels as well, so it's nice that you're here at least. But the main idea for you would be to just put in as much effort as possible, make a timetable for yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you. So you'll have to kind of put that effort yourself, that I have to finish this at this point, take these many mocks. That has to be your own effort. And honestly, it's not difficult. I had not taken any classes. Like I didn't attend classes that I used to go to. I used to just do it myself. And I've already put out all the things I used to do, like for the Excel sheet when it comes to planning, when it comes to studying. I think that's a really important thing. But when it comes to motivation, JB is getting over now. We are really happy with how it's been, how the experience has been. I don't think there's anyone in the batch who's not happy with how the final placements have gone either. Like, if you've seen our report, you would know how nice it's been, the number of companies in consulting that have come. Not sure the packages have been disclosed, but it's been really nice. I've not, I don't know what's been there, but it's been a really good season for us so far. And the idea over here is that the next 2 months, if you put that much effort, just 2 months of effort, even if you consider the amount of money you'd make in a job for the next 2 months, like it's crazy how much more you'll make. Just the jumps that you'll make in 2 years after this, the 2 months are easily worth that time. Like, it doesn't matter what background you are from or what your current status is. The great thing about JBIMS is that you stand out in a much easier manner out of the 160 students that are there. Each of us can have a different strength, and that will be seen by recruiters as well. So in that sense, the biggest motivation for you is the college that you're a part of, the alumni, the teachers who teach us. It's crazy how nice it is. Like, it's really nice. And the sessions that we've had with them also, these are the same teachers who've taught the alumni that you see at JBIMS. Like, these are the same teachers. Our professors, they refer to them as their students, like Anand Mahindra, even Uday Kotak. These are our professors have taught them directly, and they are teaching us now as well. It's the same classroom if you walk into JBIMS. So it's crazy the heritage that the place has, and just the placement report speaks for itself. I know a lot of people do MBAs for packages, and that's fine. But yeah, apart from package, also I've mentioned a couple of things, but even the package has been great this year. So if you need anything else, or if there's anything to add, Ankit, then go for it. But yeah.
No. I think you summed it up really well. JBIMS should be your ultimate motivation, and all your preparation, all the mocks you're giving, all the hard work you're putting in should be targeted towards that one goal in mind, and that is what should be driving your CET preparation or your exam preparation for the next 2 months.
Yeah, like it's just been crazy. Like, we wear the t-shirt, we wear it around. We are just very happy about how the experience has been and how it feels to be a part of this, right? Even the friends that we made over the last 1.5, 2 years, I mean, TTP is literally born out of JBIMS. So it's been a great thing for us also to give back to what has happened. And that's how it is, right? There are so many people who are doing different things and different startups and all. So it's really nice. And about the questions, whether you can still crack JBIMS in 2 months, I believe it's crackable in 1 month. It's 1 month of hard efforts. If you put in a lot of efforts, you can easily cover the syllabus in a month. And the next few weeks, you'll be focusing on mocks. So you can easily do it. 2 months is more than enough, in my opinion. Like, I think Harsh had cracked it after CET in Jan, after CAT in Jan. He started studying in Jan after CAT when the results came. Jan was when the results came. March is when he took the exam. That's 2 months, and he's cracked it. You'll find so many interviews on a channel itself of people who've done it in a shorter period of time. Harsh is a fresher. He's not. CAT was his first attempt. CET was his first attempt. So people can crack it in 2 months. Why can't you? It's just the efforts that you put in. Look at how Harsh has spoken about his prep. Though. Go to our first webinar. See how he talks. He's literally mentioned that. I think someone had asked this question about how much time should you put into prep. His answer directly was just as much time as you have, because then that's the goal that you're going for. That's the only thing you're aiming for. That's what you do. So 2 months. This is good. If you've not prepared, this is the time you put it in. This is a great time to put in the effort. So please don't worry too much about it. But yeah.
Abhimanyu has asked a question. He's listed his scores and said that he has verbal phobia. I hate reading long paragraphs of RC. Is there any trick to tackle RC fast? No, I don't believe that there is any trick or there is any shortcut to tackle RCs fast. And based on my personal experience as well, I don't believe in the method of going through the questions first and then going back to the passage to figure out the answer to each question. That just becomes more time consuming. The best and the fastest way to solve RCs remains reading the entire passage once. You may not have to read it word by word, just skim through the passage, grasp the basic points or the basic idea that the passage is trying to convey, get the context of the passage. Then you move on question by question. Once you got an idea of the passage and what all information is presented in each of the different paragraphs of the passage, you can, it will be faster for you, or it will be easier for you to interpret the different questions that are asked. So again, I don't believe that there is any shortcut where you can read each question first and then you go back to the passage and solve and solve each question as it comes. Instead, always read the passage first, skim through the passage, and then you move on question by question. That is the best way of doing it.
Is it okay to target JBIMS at 29 age without experience? I mean, you can, but see, anyone can. Like freshers have done it. There are people in our batch who are 34, I think. It's a wide range of people who are in JBIMS, but what matters is how much effort you're willing to put in. And during interviews, again, if you're going for placements and that's your aim, then during interviews, you need to just be able to answer what you've done with your life so far. They will ask you that. They're going to ask you what has happened. You'll need to fill your CV in. That is what matters. But at the same time, if you are in a college like this, that stamp gets put there. So it's fine. Like you have to target for it definitely. You need to try to get in there. Ageka is a very different thing. Even if you don't get a good placement the first year, you can always go in through alumni and things later on. Maybe a year or two down the line, you'll be in lateral placements and you'll get through other things. But if you're not in JB and if you're in a college worse than that, or a tier 2, 3, 4 college, then over there, even your alumni will not be in places where they can pull you through, right? So the main reason why people aim for these colleges is not only for immediate gratification, it's also for the tag that stays with you through life. So that's the main idea here. But yeah, feeling happy more than before, love JB. But yeah, I mean, the thing about JB again, it's 6 lakh fees, guys. I mean, 6 lakhs is the maximum fees that they take for students from us, like merit students. I mean, that's crazy. It even goes to 1.5 lakhs and even lesser for others. I mean, it's just it's crazy how much money, like how the entire thing plays out, how your cash flow plays out overall. Okay, I think we'll call it an end. Call an end to this one last question from Aman. How to solve the complex questions quickly, like pie chart with one student and other females and average males, etc. Firstly, the aim is not to solve each and every question fast. If it's a very complicated question, you need to leave it and solve other things. In CET, it does not matter where you get your marks from. You can get 0 marks in quants and highest and everything else, get a 150 and get through JB. It doesn't matter. No one's going to check your sectional score. So you just have to constantly keep solving as many questions as you can. If it's a very difficult question, you probably should leave it if possible. Like if it's a very difficult question. But in this set, usually the idea is even if there are 5 questions, there'll be 1 or 2 questions that solve very easily. Like there'll be one question that is only relating to maybe one chart, solve that fast. Don't look at a set as a whole. Look at individual questions and solve maybe 2 out of 5 and get those marks and go ahead. There'll be a lot of people who are stuck solving more and more things. So that is one answer to this. Another answer to this would be, did the question go away? Yeah, I wanted to read it again, but it's fine. Ankit, if you have anything to add, then please.
No, nothing to add. Yeah, guys, just 2 months remaining for CET right now. So this is the time to fast pace your preparation, give it all you've got. If you've not started giving mocks yet, it is high time that you started giving mocks. There are a lot of people who fear that if they're not done with their preparation, then they won't start giving mocks, so they don't feel confident enough. But my suggestion is, even if you're not done completely with the preparation, even that is ongoing, still you can start giving mocks. Maybe you can start off with a slightly lower frequency right now, but as you progress, as you move forward, you can increase the frequency of mocks. But do start giving mocks and do start analyzing them properly, because that is what is going to help you grow in your CET preparation. That is what will benefit you, where you'll be able to analyze better where you're going right and where you're going wrong from your mocks that you give. So definitely start giving mocks if you haven't already.
Yeah, and stay tuned to your channel, guys. We have a lot of things coming up soon. Please hit the subscribe button. We have around, I think, 3947 subscribers at 53 away from 4K. So let's see how fast we can reach that. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Ankit. It's been nice. It's been a good time.
Thank you, Anay.
Good hour so far. But yeah, take care, guys. Study as hard as you can. Just remember what we mentioned about JBIMS. That's your goal. That's the only dream you should have right now. So all the best, guys.